And for those of you who are new to the planetarium, welcome. This is one of the best kept secrets on campus, I feel. Um, what you will see today is just a time lapse of the stars that will be overhead tonight. You won't see most of the real stars if you go out and look up tonight because LA is full of light pollution. We have taken that light pollution away, and we will be showcasing what you would be able to see if you were, say, in a truly dark location like Death Valley or something like that. So that's what you're going to see up above, but we also have Carissa, who is up on the dome, who will lead us in a mindful practice. To make you a little more comfortable, I am going to recline the seats for you. And now I'm passing it over to Jason.
Are we gonna, you ready to rock and roll? Yes.
It's ready to go.
Okay, so we are lucky enough once again to be joined by Carissa Selman. She is a certified mindfulness facilitator. She will lead you through the mindfulness practice. So go ahead, Carissa, welcome and thank you. And let me give you a little
a
quick,
quick view. Here we go.
everybody.
We got a few people. Anybody here for the first time? Hi, everyone.
One first timer.
One first timer, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks everyone for returning as well. And thanks Jason and Jenny for creating this space and creating this little pocket of time that we all get to share.
Okay, so here we go. Thank you very much, Carissa.
Great. Okay. Welcome everyone. As Jason said, do recommend having your phones on silent or even all the way off, so they're not even buzzing in your pocket, if that's possible to do. If you're watching this later on Zoom, maybe you're at your desk, I suggest just pushing aside any stacks of things on the desk, any work that needs to be done, setting that aside for a little while. And the way this usually goes is I will offer some introduction, instructions, suggestions to start, and we'll talk us through a mindfulness practice. And then I will talk a little less and a little less. And eventually we will be together in silence for a while. And then I will break in and bring us back out of silence and reacclimate to the environment around us. That's kind of the quick overview. I do like to mention that my instructions are just suggestions. So please take what you need, leave the rest behind. If something's not working for you, just let it go. That is totally fine. All of these suggestions are meant to support you, and if they are not supporting you, you don't need to try to follow them. You are completely in control of this experience. And let's see. So most of you right now in the planetarium are probably reclining into the chairs. If you're at home and in an more upright position, I do recommend inhabiting a posture that allows you to have an alert yet relaxed state of being, and one that allows you full access to the breath, the range of breathing. So often sitting up in the chair, maybe putting a little bit of energy into the low back. You can do this in whatever chair you're in, but maybe roll the shoulders back a few times to just say, hey, if you've been up around the ears, you can relax down, and inviting this relaxed yet attentive posture. Mindfulness practice, posture can be very helpful to pay attention to, noticing the body where it is in space in this current moment is a wonderful way to stay present. And And what we're doing is inviting in some stillness, but we're not gripping ourselves into immobility. There's no gripping, there's no grabbing, grasping. This is an easeful posture that we want to aim for. So if you do notice that there's tension in the body, or you know that there's places where you usually hold tightness and tension, you can simply direct your mind to those parts of the body, just like we did with the shoulders, and invite them to relax and soften. If you'd like to close your eyes, if that feels comfortable, go ahead and do that. If you're in the planetarium and looking up, you can just have this soft upward gaze, and whatever is in your field of vision moving through it is what you're seeing. If you're at your desk, I often recommend a soft downward gaze, about a 45-degree angle, just reducing the distraction in the visual field. Again, setting aside those stacks of paper or books or anything you have on your desk. The definition I usually use for mindfulness practice is that it is a practice. It's not a perfection, it is a practice. So it is a practice of paying attention to the present moment experience with an attitude of curiosity, openness, and a willingness to simply be with things as they are. We are building the skill of staying in the present moment. And it is very natural for the mind to go back to the past and remember things that happened an hour ago or even years ago. It is completely natural for the mind to go forward to the present. What am I having for lunch? How is this meeting going to go later in the week? Or even things far, far into the future. And that's just what the mind does. And so we cultivate with a curiosity and a friendliness, if we can, a curiosity of just observing the mind doing what it naturally does, and then inviting it to return to the present moment and to stay here with what's happening right now. What you might do to orient the mind to the here and the now is take 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Whatever that looks like for you today. I usually recommend breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if that comes with a sigh or a yawn, go ahead and let that arrive along with the breath, however it is. Maybe there's spring allergies and breathing through the nose is difficult, and that's totally fine to breathe in and out of the mouth or some combination thereof. And you can invite in that curiosity of, is my breath deep or shallow? Is it a long or a short breath? Is my breath choppy or smooth? Is it coarse or fine, like coarse salt or fine salt? We offer the mind the breath as an anchor, the way a boat uses an anchor to keep from drifting away. We can offer the breath as something to be curious about, those qualities, those how the breath feels in the body. And once you've taken those 3 deep intentional breaths, just let it go. Allow the breath to come and go naturally, just as it is. And when thoughts naturally arise, as soon as you notice it, you can say a label for them. It can be as simple as thinking, just a very general label. Thinking. You could get a little more specific if you like. Remembering, planning, wondering. And sometimes just the simple label of thinking is enough. Just like this practice is one of inviting in stillness and ease, but not gripping into perfect motionlessness. We're not trying to grip the mind to stay in the present moment. It's an invitation to sit down and rest with us in this stillness, like you would invite a friend to have a seat next to you. Take a load off their feet. There's nothing that you need to be thinking about in the next 20 minutes. Just inviting the mind to rest with kindness and generosity. Continuing to notice how the breath is in this moment. For most people, it's easiest to notice the breath in one of 3 places, either the nose, the chest, or the belly. So you could direct the mind, turn your focus to one of those 3 places. Continuing to offer the mind something to be curious about. Where do I notice the breath most easily? How is it to be breathing right now in this body, in this moment? How has the quality of breath shifted from when you first sat down to now? It may not be any different, or you may notice subtle changes. Perhaps the breathing is slower. If you're like me, perhaps there's a few more yawns as part of the breath cycle. Perhaps there are longer spaces in between each breath, between the inhale and the exhale. And for some folks, it can be helpful to add a little more concentration by actually counting the breath. Just lightly noticing an inhale and an exhale. Count 1. An inhale, exhale, count 2. Until you get to 10, and then start over at 1. And if you find yourself at 20, just start over at 1. And if you find yourself in on a train of thought, simply noticing that, giving it a label, thinking, and returning to counting the breath. There is no expectation of having a mind completely free of thoughts. Practice is the returning each time we notice that we've been pulled away in one direction or another. returning. With a little bit of gratitude or appreciation, if that's available in the moment. Oh, thank you. Welcome back. After the next breath, I invite you to let go of the particular attention to breathing, wherever you are in counting or curiosity of sensations of the breath in the body. And expand your attention or shift it to your hands or your feet. Wherever your hands are resting, noticing how they are supported by the arms of the chair. Perhaps they're in your lap or resting across your belly. Just turning the attention to the hands, the weight and pressure of them. Perhaps they are warm against the body, or there's coolness from the temperature of the room. See if, without wiggling your fingers, can you point your focus of the mind to each individual finger. And perhaps offering a bit of appreciation to your hands, the work that they do, how they help move us through our day, complete our tasks. And as you go through your day or your week, this mindfulness of the hands is a little mini practice you can try. Maybe you're not in a place where you can close your eyes, but you can sit perhaps at your desk, take your hands off the keyboard and set them in your lap. And take 3 deep breaths, or even just one. And simply notice that stillness in the hands. As a way of pausing in the midst of busyness, inviting in that stillness and rest. And a little bit of appreciation for all that our hands do for us. And then I invite you to maybe wiggle your fingers and toes, give another little shrug, flutter open your eyes if they've been closed, and reorient yourself to the room that you're in. And just soaking up a little bit of that appreciation to carry with you through the rest of the day. Perhaps having had this stillness and rest, you're able to offer a little bit more patience to yourself or others. I hope you can take this with you through the rest of your day and week. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Carissa. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Um, we will be back again on Monday. So please come and join us. If you are a faculty member that needs Flex, I will get out my notebook here and have you sign it. So, Carissa, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Okay.
See you next week. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bring the chair back.